What? Hey, y'all, we back. Sorry we're running a little late tonight, but we're going to make up for that. Listen here. You're listening to Get Your Happy On Hour on 93.7 The Ticket. It's your host, Ricky C. Simmons. I got a special guest tonight, but I need to talk to y'all for a minute first. This is the last show of 2022. We'll be back January 8th of 2023. So I just want to give y'all a heads up. The next two Sunday nights, we will not be here because it's Christmas and then New Year's. So we'll start 2023 off on January the 8th at 8 o'clock. Next thing I got to tell you guys, this is the holiday season. Y'all know what's going on out here. It's a lot of adversity. But look here, we ain't going to sweat that, and we ain't going to let that affect anything we're doing. So just remember, every day you blessed to see, it truly is another day in paradise. So let's stay focused through these holidays. Let's stay safe. That's the most important thing, because I want to see all y'all back tuned in on January 8th. Okay? All right. Well, we're going to get started real quick tonight since I had y'all on hold for a minute. I got a special guest. His name is Kadara Thompson. And hey, Kadara, welcome to the Get Your Happy On Hour, man.
Hey, I appreciate you having me, Rick.
Hey, man, look, I appreciate you wanting to be on it because it means a lot to me. I got a couple of questions I have to start off with.
Yes, sir.
First question I have for you is, where'd you grow up, man?
I grew up here in Lincoln.
You grew up in Lincoln?
So my family is from Mississippi.
Okay.
And we moved here when I was 6 months old. So
wow. So you've been here all your life?
I've been here ever since.
And you attended North Star High School?
Yeah. Actually, I played with your son, Tyler.
What? Yeah. So you're a hooper then, huh?
Not like him.
No.
I tried, though.
That's all right. You was on the squad and you was handling your business.
Yeah.
That's what's up. Well, hey, man, like I said.
We was in the trenches.
Well, you know what? He speaks real highly of you, too. So I'm really, really honored that you came in to be on the show tonight. I also would like to know, what'd you do after high school?
Man, it was a journey after high school. Trying to find my way and figure out how I can find a way to support myself in this crazy world, you know.
Right.
You grow up and you have an idea of what you think you want life to be like, and then you get into the real world, and all those lessons that, you know, your elders, your mom, your parents, your grandparents tell you that are going to come for you. You realize that it's real.
Yeah,
real quick.
It's hard to figure that out when you're young, though.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes you just gotta go through it.
Right.
So,
right.
I bounced around a little bit. Tried to play ball, didn't work out. Didn't have my priorities straight in the classroom.
Mm-hmm.
Work ethic wasn't as good as I thought it was. And then I just came back here, did a couple of odd jobs here and there. Ended up getting fired a couple of places and had to go back to the drawing board and reevaluate and look internally to see what can I do. You know what I'm saying? Why are these things happening to me? What can I do to avoid finding myself in these situations? And I had to do some soul searching, and it was ugly at times, but I was able to get it figured out. I figured that business was the way to go for me, and also working with youth. I worked with youth and found it very rewarding because a lot of the same struggles that they were going through, I had been through. And so I was able to relate to them and offer them some of the guidance that I needed growing up. And so it kind of was just the right time, right place.
This youth program you're talking about, what's the name of it again?
So back in 2010, I started working at the Boys and Girls Club here in Lincoln.
Okay.
Yeah, and I was there for 8 years while I got my degree in business and accounting. And I learned a lot of really good lessons there that I take with me and I kind of hold true to me. And I just I have a passion for kids, for youth development, and then also my business. Those are the two things, along with my kids, that really drive me.
Well, man, you know, that's very important, you know, and I just want to say congratulations on not giving up.
Yeah.
You know, especially right after high school when things got really difficult.
Yep.
You know, a lot of people, they may not have the courage to admit the things that you just admitted. You know, I myself, man, I understand, and I understand better than most because I've trials and tribulations. Mine went way past high school.
Mm-hmm.
So my hat's off to you for that, man. I think that's very important. Now, also, I noticed when you said business and accounting.
Yeah.
So now tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, man. So when I first started back in school, one of the first classes I took was an accounting class,
Okay.
and it just kind of came easy to me. But even growing up, math was my favorite subject. I always had like this weird thing that I would do with numbers in my head. I would just look at numbers and I would just kind of manipulate them and make them do weird different stuff that I hardly ever tell anybody. This is kind of it's a
Well,
little
hey, we
weird,
getting
but
the inside scoop.
but like after I took that accounting class, it just clicked for me. I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And so I just kind of ran with that. Like I said, I worked at the Boys and Girls Club, and I did that all while pursuing my degree. I graduated my bachelor's in accounting in 2015, and I had a decision then: am I going to continue working with youth, or am I going to go, the accounting route? And at that point in time, with having 2 kids and a family to support, I had decided just to stay there. But then a few years later, I had kind of got to the point where it's like I want to really try to push this thing and see how far I could take it. I also wanted to make a lot more money than what I was going to be able to do.
That's important. That's important.
And so what I did was I decided that I was going to switch out and go the accounting route, and I'll continue working with youth on a volunteer basis.
Gotcha.
And so it was basically like, creating the best of both worlds. And, I did that. I worked for a couple of different companies doing the accounting stuff. And then eventually I just was like, you know what, I want to go on my own. I want to see if I can, do this for real.
Yeah. Well, if you can do it for someone else, you can do it for yourself.
Exactly. But there's also a level of, faith you have to have in yourself. There's confidence you have to have,
right?
And you got to really go for it. You got to grind. It's not going to be easy. And that's one of the biggest things that I learned was, if you want something, you got to really, really go for it and put your time in and sacrifice. And you can definitely make it happen, but you got to work at it. It ain't just going to fall in your lap.
But one thing I will say about what you're doing, and I know this from personal experience, when you start working for yourself, you tend to work harder than you ever did when you work for somebody else.
Listen, I started this in 2020, like in the middle of the pandemic, which was kind of crazy in itself.
Yeah.
But I just, that was the moment. I felt inspired. I went for it. And of course I worked still at the same time, but man, even still, like I work until like 3:00 in the morning on my business doing stuff. And then I'll, sleep for a couple of hours, get the kids up in the morning and go to my full-time job. And, just, you got to balance it, but it is definitely different when you're working for yourself.
Absolutely.
Because it's like, for one, it's your livelihood.
Correct.
In most cases.
Correct.
And for two, it's your baby. You know what I'm saying? I was telling somebody the other day, like, my business is my baby. My boys are 8 and 12 now. I can't hold them and rock them anymore. You know what I'm saying? Right. But my business, that's how I carry it. You know what I'm saying? It's really important to me. My name's on it. I'm doing it to build a legacy, not only for myself and my family, and try to do something that's going to really impact the community.
Well, I'm going to share something with the public that they don't know about you and I.
Yeah.
I have a 501c3 called RCS Triumph Inc.
Yes, sir.
And I'm a speaker, so I know how to go around the country speaking. But when people were giving donations, and I didn't know how to do all the tax stuff, and blind faith, I reached out to you, and you met with me, and I handed you my mess.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know what to do. And you looked at me and you was like, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. And when I left you, to be honest with you, I didn't know what to expect. But then in a couple of weeks, I went to my foundation's P.O. box, and there was a letter in there saying that everything was straight. So, man, I can never thank you enough for doing that for me. And I'm finna put you back to work again because the donations are starting to come.
Hey, that's good. But like, you said it though. You trusted me, and that's the biggest thing. Is you got to have trust in any relationship.
Correct.
And I feel your mission. You have an amazing mission. I don't know if you even remember this, but actually, while I was at the Boys and Girls Club, which is at Park Middle School, you came in and you spoke to the kids there.
Wow.
Yeah. So I heard the message. Yeah. I know, what you're doing, and it's amazing. People need to hear real life stories. there's too much of the fluffy stuff going on.
Right.
Everything is nice and everything's going to work out. Sometimes it ain't.
Exactly.
Sometimes it's going to get ugly.
Right.
But you have to learn how to persevere through that. And you're a testament to that. And it's also the sense of what is knowledge if you only want to have it. You're giving it back. And that's, you know, I feel like that's really important as well. But as far as, you know, the work that I do, my company slogan is assisting you is what we do. Whatever it is that you need, you know, we're here to help.
So you do bookkeeping?
Yep, I do bookkeeping, payroll, taxes. We got tax season coming up. So if you're looking for somebody, a tax professional, please reach out. Y'all. Thompson's Bookkeeping and Consulting. We got you.
There you go. See that? I'm trying to get y'all hooked up, man. It's that time of year.
But here's one of the biggest things I have to say as far as, you know, that circumstance goes, you know, with the work that I've done with you and just in general. When it comes to business, I feel like sometimes business owners have the thought that they have to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise it can't operate, that they can't spend money. And those two things, I want to make sure that I communicate their very common misconceptions that in order to really pursue what you're doing and grow your business or your vision, you're going to need people. You're going to need a team.
Right.
And the other big thing is, as it relates to spending money, if you have the cash flow, outsource. You're going to get those services, professional services,
right?
And you'll get to deduct those expenses off of your taxes. So you're essentially, in my eyes, getting the services for free. You pay for them up front during the year and you deduct them on your taxes on the back end.
Right.
So don't get yourself in a situation where you feel like you have to do everything. You get yourself overwhelmed. You can't really put all your time and effort and energy into growing your vision because you feel like you have to do everything else. There's a benefit to reaching out and getting, building your team and having people help you out with pursuing your dreams.
Well, I'll say this, man. I can speak for myself. You've earned my trust. And that's a compliment to you, because I love to be positive and happy, but man, sometimes I have to watch what I do and who I do it with, because I'm not psychic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't read people's mind. So most of the time when I reach out to somebody, I watch them extremely hard, because the minute they show me who they are, I believe them, and
as you should.
Yeah. I'm not big with second and third chances, because I'm like, man, you got me once, I give you that. But if you get me again, then that means I like getting got.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's how I take it. But no, you're a man of your word, man. And I can't never, like I said, I can't thank you enough for what you do. I mean, I'm so excited because the foundation now, I feel really good about accepting donations, because I know that I don't have to handle that. I have definitely outsourced that to you as long as you are willing to do it.
Yeah.
And it's allowed me to free myself up to just focus on going out and doing speaking engagements, which is where my passion is.
And that's, one of the other big components of what I do. I feel like, when you outsource to people, what you're doing is you're buying time for yourself.
Correct.
Correct. And, you as a business owner, as, what you do, you should be focusing on, your passions,
right?
Future planning, and ensuring that, this thing can continue.
Right. And that's exactly
what you're supposed to be focusing on.
That's what you have given me.
What I always say is like, okay, take for instance, a mechanic.
Okay.
He's good on working on cars.
Correct.
What does he need to be in the office for?
Right.
Why? So what he would be doing, if we think about it as in time, he'd be taking time away from making money to go do his books and manage everything.
Right.
So when you're not making money, you're losing money.
Right.
So what do you want to do with your time?
Makes total sense.
I think you should focus on what's making you money.
Right.
And allow somebody else that you trust, of course, because trust is huge.
Right.
You got to find somebody that you trust. And there's safeguards that you got to, put in place. You ain't just blindly giving everything. You got to check in and make sure you're monitoring it on everything, because, there's some slimy people out here.
Yeah. And this society, unfortunately, has a lot of what I call takedown elements to it. There's people out here that are running scams on the phone, running scams online. So it's just very difficult to know who you can trust and when you can trust them, because they could always start off right and then midstream switch up on you.
Yeah.
So I mean, like I said, I'm just pleased though.
What I'll say too is that that's what I'm talking about as far as the safeguards, and you want to still be hands-on. You're just not doing all the day-to-day stuff.
Correct.
So you still want to be checking in and monitoring.
Right.
But that's where people see too, like in situations like this, if they see that you're not involved, you're not responding to them, they see, okay, he ain't locked in, he don't really care.
Right.
I can maneuver some stuff.
Right.
But that's, like you said, that's the society that we live in.
Yeah, it's a broken society.
There's a lack of integrity in our society today. And that's why, I can speak for my profession, especially being, a brother. Trust is hard.
Oh,
I have
absolutely.
a hard time, but that's why I work so hard. That's why I communicate the way that I do. And that's why it's really important to build that trust in that relationship.
Well, hey man, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. You got my trust 100%, and I vouch for you, and I'm sure your business is gonna continue to grow. I don't even have any doubt, because I'm gonna send people your way anyway.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
But hey, I have a very, very important question to ask you. And I know we're probably going to break pretty soon, but I just want to ask this question. What does Kadara do for happiness? Because, see, I love to get my happy on.
Yeah.
And a lot of people think that's easy because they say I make it look easy.
Yeah.
But being happy and positive is not easy. So how do you go about being positive and happy, man?
Man, I'd say my biggest thing is just looking towards the future.
Yeah.
Believing in a bright future. And, I try to look ahead and then plan out my todays, my weeks, and my months to create that future that I want to see.
Okay.
That and my boys. I have 2 boys they're everything to me. And just being able to provide for them and be a role model for them that I never had. I never met my dad, never laid eyes on him, never once heard his voice, nothing. And it's crazy that a person that I've never met or ever even spoken to is the biggest influence in my life.
Wow.
And so, just that, and I love helping people.
Right.
Those are my things.
For you to be involved with the youth, that says a lot about you as well, because it's much easier for people to turn their back on the youth because they feel like they don't get it. They don't understand what's going on, and they're making bad choices. And I disagree with that, because I mean, I can remember, and I'm speaking firsthand, I made a ton of bad choices. So, and certain people didn't give up on me. And I think that plays a big role in why I was able to get things turned around to where I could do what I do today.
Yeah, no, one of the things I had to really communicate with the youth that I work with is that they see us as adults now. For the most part, we haven't figured out, but we were kids too.
Right.
But I also feel like that's a part of building a relationship with youth, is you have to show them that you're a real person. You went through trials and tribulations too. You got in trouble too. Exactly. That goes a long way to building a relationship with youth. They have to know that you are not this perfect being that's just here to correct every error that they make in their life. And you have to show them that you're human too. You've made mistakes. But one of the other big things is giving people grace. People are going to make mistakes.
Right.
We should be able to, within certain laws and such, to make mistakes and learn from them.
Correct.
And not be, viewed as the person that we were maybe on our worst day,
right.
Because one of the big things that I say a lot nowadays is context matters. We live in a society where everything is like absolute, or this happened. Okay, but why did it happen? How did we get to that point where there's signs before? Like you got to take everything into context instead of just looking at that screenshot of what you see just in the moment.
Correct. And that's kind of hard too, man, because unfortunately, like I said, people just don't want to give credit where credit's due, and it's so easy to focus on the negative.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like You can go out and work with the youth. You can go out and help people with their businesses. That won't get much attention. But if you go out and break a law, the next thing you know, everybody knows your name.
You said it. You said it.
Hey, well, listen up, y'all. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go nowhere, man. Just to get you happy on hour on 93.7 The Ticket. It's your host, Ricky C. Simmons. We'll be right back.
At Koppel, during the holidays, we take time to cherish our terrific staff, community, and loyal customers that continue to drive that money-saving mile to Louisville, Nebraska. Hi, this is Sean Callahan. I can proudly say I bought my car at Koppel. And if you are in the area, I invite you to stop by Koppel Chevrolet GMC's offices in Louisville or check them out online at koppelcars.com. On behalf of Koppel Chevrolet GMC, Merry Christmas and safe travels to all.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
Allo means business. Allo means local business. Allo means big business. Allo means small business. No matter your business, if you need reliable phone and internet connectivity, you need Allo. Local service and same-day dispatch. Free installation. Symmetrical upload and download speeds. If your business relies on communication, rely on Allo. Allo means business. Visit allofiber.com/business.
This is Lindsay Teal from the Nebraska Golf Team. If you're looking for a Christmas gift for the avid golfer in your life, don't give them something they can't even use until spring. Get them the gift of indoor golf from Double Eagle Golf. Grab a gift card for a stocking stuffer, or give the gift of a membership and let them golf all year long. Their space is also perfect for Christmas parties, corporate events, birthday parties, or anything else. See for yourself. Double Eagle Golf, just 5 minutes from downtown at the Kinetic Sports Complex on West O Street.
Steve's Garage Doors and Services is hiring. They are looking for a garage door installation and service technician with a clean driving record. Experience is not required as they will train for the positions. However, mechanical aptitude is required. If you want to come be a part of a small business where you're family, not just an employee, call Steve's Garage Doors and Services today to apply at 402-480-2840. That's 402-480-2840. Steve's Garage Doors and Services.
You had to know that when Wingstop set out to make a crispy, juicy chicken sandwich, they wouldn't make it in just one flavor. They'd make it in all 12, like lemon pepper, mango habanero, hickory smoked barbecue, and OG hot. So why have one new favorite chicken sandwich when you can have 12? Try the new sauced and tossed Wingstop chicken sandwich today for only $5.49 at Wingstop, where flavor gets its wings. Valid for a limited time and available at participating Wingstop locations only while supplies last. Price subject to applicable taxes and fees.
This is Jay Foreman, 93.7 The Ticket. Talk to you about Battle in the Vault. 3 games, 1 ticket for the whole day. Tuesday, December 20th. Game times are 1, 4, and 6:30 p.m. Concordia against Oklahoma Westland. Number 23, Mississippi State against Drake. Nebraska against Queens University. Down at PBA. Be there and don't be late.
Tractor Supply is looking for full-time team members for their Waverly Distribution Center. Tractor Supply has a new progressive pay model where team members receive 5 wage increases in the first 2 years of employment with the ability to earn up to $24 per hour. Applicants can expect a 3- and 4-day work week schedule with additional overtime days with both day and night shift schedules available. At Tractor Supply, they work hard, have fun, and make money. Apply today at tractorsupply.jobs.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Man, we back. Let's Get Your Happy On Hour on 93.7 The Ticket. It's your host, Ricky C. Simmons. Hey, y'all, I can't dance, but that's okay. I'm still grooving in here. I know y'all can see me, but that's okay. That's how we do it. Hey, Cordero, I was just thinking about something. You know, a lot of people give me a lot of flack about, Ricky, you make being happy or being positive. You make it look so easy. And my only explanation for that is if you've been through what I've been through, it's hard for me personally not to look for the positive things in life.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been at the lowest of the low, and according to society standards.
Yeah.
And I've gradually, slowly, and I'm still continually growing. But in the process of doing this, I really do, man. I wake up every morning at 3 a.m., turn my life over to Christ, do a set of spiritual readings. I drink coffee out of a prison mug. That don't make sense to nobody but me. But that's how I lay the foundation for my day. Because when I'm drinking that coffee out of that prison mug, I'm thinking, man, this mug works awful well. I really don't need to go back to prison to get another one. But it starts me to smiling because I love humor anyways. And once I start smiling, then it makes me focus on just the positive things. And I was just kind of curious, man, like I heard what you were saying earlier about how you kind of bounced around and stuff. And I see you the way I see you today as a successful businessman. I mean, it wasn't always easy though, was it?
Nah, it definitely wasn't. You said something really important. Is you said you're working to continuously grow.
Correct.
That's what it's about. We have to have the opportunity to be able to grow through our mistakes. And it isn't always easy when you're trying to figure things out. Experience is your best teacher. And so for me, I was a real, I guess some people would say I still am today. I'm kind of a hothead, but I'm very set in my morals and my principles, and I don't fold on those.
Right.
And so, that got me into some trouble. And, but it's that belief that I can continuously grow. One of the things that I always say is if you aren't growing, you're dying.
Right.
But also too, it's a choice, like you said, to be happy. You just laid out the steps that it takes for you to get yourself started in the morning. Those are choices that you make that are laying the foundation, like you said, for your day to be a happy and positive one. It takes work to be positive. You had even, I think you had said that, people said you make it look easy, but the choice is you said it was easy to focus on the negative. That's correct.
Right.
It takes work to be happy and to focus on to being happy is a mindset. Like I think that some, people make it seem like it's just these things happen to you. They just happiness just falls in your lap, and it's I don't agree.
I attribute a lot of mine to humility. See, I'm a very humble person too, and when I say humble, I mean, I'm a grown man, but I will go in front of a room full of kids. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but when you're in high school, to me, you're a kid. And I will throw myself under the bus so that they don't feel picked on.
Yeah.
But at the end of the speech, they understand that, hey, man, that guy sounds a lot like me. And he has made a lot of the choices that I'm making currently. And to me, I think that's a very special way to get their attention without putting them down. Because I think a lot of times, we grew up in I grew up in a different era. When I was growing up, they had this thing called discipline. I think they call that child abuse now, but
I caught the tail end of discipline.
What I'm trying to say is, I mean, I understand that, you can't really discipline the youth today like I was disciplined.
Yeah.
But they still need to be some kind of way. We still need to reach them.
Yeah. No, definitely. They still need discipline, and it does happen. It just looks a lot different now.
Correct.
A lot of the discipline nowadays is, communication. effectively communicating how, what they're doing isn't acceptable, or, the consequences that could come with it. It's removing the privileges, because these kids have ridiculous privileges. They have all the gadgets and gadgets.
Yeah.
But those things can be taken. Like even right now, my 8-year-old son, I took his phone away from him.
Oh man,
and
that's a
he's
crisis.
Man, it literally is. But the reason why is because he gets so caught up in the screens that he won't eat, and it just he everything is that screen, and he just forgets all of his other responsibilities. And as a parent, we have to actually parent them. We have to sometimes hurt their feelings. They have those feelings, and they can be hurt sometimes, in order to get them to understand their responsibilities and build proper character. And one of the things that I've always said too is, with my experience with working with youth, a lot of it ain't their fault.
Correct.
A lot of it's on the parents.
Right. And you know what? That's a good point, because a lot of parents, and I'm not judging. That's not what I do. But yeah, but a lot of parents, I think the pandemic, I'm gonna use that for example. I think it helped a lot of parents, because when you send your kid off to school and the teachers are reporting, your kid is not doing this or not doing that, and the parents come to the kid's defense, which is kind of a normal reaction. But when they had to keep them kids at home,
oh yeah,
I think it kind of gave the parents a little eye opener to, well, maybe my kid is doing some of these things that they're being accused of. And also, I always revert back, like I talk to a lot of my friends back home. I got a little brother, for example. He's like a little brother. Known him all my life and all of his life. His name is Brad Taylor. And, Brad, one thing we talked about, we actually talked this morning, and we talk about a lot of different things, but the way we grew up is so much different than the way things are now, and I always got to keep that in mind, because I don't want my beliefs to be forced on anyone else, because we didn't have cell phones when I was a kid,
man.
And I hear some of the kids nowadays, they go in their room and slam their door, and if I would have tried that,
man,
I wouldn't even had a door on my room.
I
mean, so like I said, I get it, but I just think that technology has a lot of benefits, but I think it has a lot of side effects.
I completely agree. It's just like any tool or resource. Are you using it for good or using it for bad?
Correct.
It's how you choose to use it. But what I think is really important for parents is that these kids don't have to have it.
Right.
We survived without it. Is it nice for them to have? Yes, of course.
Right.
But they don't have to have it. And that's where, for me and my son, where we're battling right now, is he doesn't understand that. It's my job to teach him that. He says, "Oh, I'm okay. I don't think that it's not distracting me." And I'm like, I can see that it is. You're an 8-year-old. Your mind isn't even fully functioning yet.
Right.
I have a duty as your parent to teach you these things and to make sure that this behavior gets corrected before you become too dependent on this thing, because that's where a lot of kids are.
Oh, yeah.
They're so dependent on, and I won't even say just kids. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who are solely dependent on these devices.
Right.
But us as adults, we're adults. We can do whatever we choose.
Right.
These kids, we have to provide structure for them in order for them to navigate this world with and without it.
Well, one thing I was thinking about when you were saying that, I was like, discipline. How do you discipline these kids? You can't touch them. They know you can't touch them. so they become what I call geniuses.
Yeah.
They're the smartest people on the planet. And they keep forgetting that once upon a time, their parents were their age, and that, I think that's where the difficulty comes in, because you have to walk this fine line.
Yeah.
This discipline thing is a really big deal. And I mean, I see it from just going into the schools around the country.
Oh, yeah.
Man, I mean, once those kids figured out you can't do nothing but talk,
yeah,
man, they get real bold.
They do.
Yeah. So I mean, I I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to do it, but it just seems like everybody's at a disadvantage trying to help them, and they're they have all the advantages because they know what you can and can't do.
I definitely will agree with that, but I think we got to be kind of creative too.
Mhm.
For me, my discipline that I had growing up, like I told you, I was at the tail end of the old school discipline. I got it for a little bit and then it expired. But so once that stopped, it was more difficult for my mom to discipline me.
Right.
But what she did have to her advantage was I love basketball. And so taking that away from me was an option. However, she didn't always choose to use it. So I would go to school, get suspended, be in ISS, whatever it was, and still be able to go to practice that night and still go to the games that weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So for me, what I do with my boys is whatever it is that I know that you love, taking that.
That's smart.
I'm taking it. Yeah. Like I'm serious. And if that doesn't do it, you really up against it.
Yeah.
But I mean, these kids, they love their phones. They love their Snapchat. Take it. Like my kids, I have this app on my phone where they only get a certain amount of time on it. And once that time's up, they have to ask me for it. So then I'm like, okay, you take that out the trash like I asked you to. Do your homework.
Yeah.
Or you didn't? No, you don't need it.
Right.
Are you acting up? You can still have this phone because I need to be able to communicate with you.
Right.
And I could, I need to know where you located at all times, but
Right.
I can turn all of that extra stuff off. It'll just be that you can call me. And that's what I do.
So you limit their ability to use the phone the way they want to use it.
Listen, what I tell them is I don't want to rain on your parade. I want you to have the most fun in your life that you can. But I have an obligation to make sure that you have a strong character, that you get an education, and that we lay a foundation for you to be successful in life and try to eliminate as many hurdles as possible. There's still going to be hurdles. There's just no way around that.
Absolutely.
But how do we set up things for you to have the least, the road with the least resistance?
Well, there's traps set up for these kids too.
For sure.
And I think the criminal justice system is just one of them.
Oh, yeah.
There are other things if you survive. I mean, because a lot of the stuff that they're doing now, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but apparently they have their own way of looking at things. Like I said, I really do believe a lot of these kids do think they're smarter than their parents, because I know I had that. I went through that.
Yeah. It's a complex.
Yeah, I knew I was smarter than my parents until I realized I was the dumbest person I knew.
Yeah.
But it takes them, like you say, the experience of going through things.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the learning curve. Experience is the best teacher. I've heard that over and over and over, but until it actually happens to you, and saying that's another thing. As long as it's happening to someone else,
you said it.
Man, that's messed up, but that'll never happen to me.
Man.
And then when it happens to you, then all of a sudden, now it's like, oh, and now it's real.
Yeah.
I just think that's kind of setting these kids up for failure. And I know that just from what I see in the middle schools and high schools, there are certain little consequences for them. But if it's, say, for example, if you get kicked out of school, you might go to detention for one night. Then the next day you're back in school. Well, that works fine until you're 18. Then when you're 18, there ain't no overnights.
Nah.
They start hiding you for a while. So I just don't want that for anyone, because I personally have been through it. And I just don't wish it on anyone, because everybody's not equipped mentally to handle that. And I really feel like if, as you being a parent, these young boys, you got to stay in their business.
Man.
Yeah, because I mean, they gonna get they gonna throw a few curves here and there.
Man, I'm already knowing. I'm anticipating. What I tell them is like, man, listen, I know of course they're gonna get me, but for the most part, I know most of their moves before they even make them. Like it's a joke in my house. They're like, how did you even know that? I'm like, dude, I could see, I know you better than you know yourself, for one.
Correct.
For two, I was just as devious, if not more devious than you, and so I told, like, man, you're going to make mistakes and it's going to happen, but like, we can talk through it, and just trying to create an atmosphere where communication is open,
right?
Because these kids can't fear making mistakes. They're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah, that's just part of growing up, and I get it. But I think it's real important that you keep I call it heading them off at the pass.
Oh yeah.
You know, as soon as they think they're getting a little smart or slick, you know, all of a sudden, voila, here you are.
Yeah.
And you're calling them on it. I mean, I think that's important.
Well, one of the other things too is kids are going to test boundaries. That's just a part of figuring out and growing. You got to see how far can I take this thing.
Right.
And you know, one of the things that me and their mom do is like, okay, we see you testing that boundary, but we're gonna step in right now, before this gets too far, and set that boundary. So you're gonna have to redirect now. You're gonna have to find a different direction because we own that.
Right. And you know, it's kind of funny, man, because I do occasionally. I'll sit up, and especially this time of year, because it's holiday season, I'll be reminiscing because my parents are both in heaven. So I start, like these holidays, they're a little tougher for me than most. And this is funny because I started remembering some of my childhood memories when I had parents, and how I thought I was a little smarter than them. But like I said, that discipline thing, even though I still made some mistakes growing up and into adulthood, I learned a lot of good lessons through that discipline.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, my mother, I know for a fact, she whooped a lot of the things out of me that I would have.
It could have been worse.
Yes,
it could have been.
Could have been a lot worse.
But one of the things for me is like my mom. Pretty much everything that she said would come for me came.
Right.
And although I didn't want to listen, I am forever indebted to her. I tell her that all the time. Like, you were right. Like, I should have just listened.
Yeah.
That's all I had to do. Because she said, look, this gonna come.
Right.
You can anticipate it. You can think you're as smart as you want to. It's coming.
It's funny.
And we don't want to believe it. And then life get a hold of us and slap us around a little bit, and we come back crying.
That's really funny, man. But that's okay. You know what? We made it. We still here. But hey, listen, everybody. I want y'all to just stay tuned for just a little bit longer. We're gonna take one more break. 93.7 The Ticket to Get You Happy on Hour. We'll be right back.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Nebraska State Veterans Homes are here to serve veterans, their spouses, surviving spouses, and Gold Star parents. Join your fellow veterans and their families at one of our homes in Bellevue, Kearney, Norfolk, or Scottsbluff. With a sliding scale to determine your financial contribution, an excellent clinical team, and plenty of fun activities, our homes are the perfect retirement choice. Learn more at veterans.nebraska.gov/homes. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
People first is more than a nice sentiment. At American Senior Benefits, it's the mission. If you're ready for a career where you can truly put your customers' needs ahead of everything else, this is for you. American Senior Benefits is one of the leading senior market insurance product distributors in the country, and they're looking for high-energy applicants with strong communication skills. Enjoy on-the-job training, a fun work environment, and unlimited income potential. Visit asbmidwest.com to learn more. American Senior Benefits.
Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends. That's the greatest compliment we can receive. If you've been in an accident, we'll get you back in your vehicle as quickly as possible. Our technicians care about you and your family and repair your vehicle to factory standards. We handle your claim from start to finish and provide a free loaner car. Stop by for a free estimate. Eustace Body Shop, just south of 88th and Highway 2.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
People always ask, what are Jake and Sip like when they're off the air? Well, the answer probably won't surprise you.
Hey, Jake, your Honda's looking a little dirty.
Says the guy whose license plate is barely visible.
I mean, do you even care about that thing anymore?
It gets a little uncomfortable. Now, that's when I jump in.
Hey, whoa. Mark, did you get a new car?
Nope, just took my car down to Nebraska Auto Detail. Joe and the staff made the outside and the inside look amazing. Maybe you guys need to go.
Okay, wise guy.
Settle down, Jake.
Book your appointment today at NebraskaAutoDetail.com.
And now, a letter to Santa from the world of Yum.
Dear Santa, hi, how are you? I am well. Let's get to it. This year, Beatrice Bakery cakes for everyone. For my mom, apple streusel cake. For my dad, definitely the turtle nut cake. For my brother Jimmy, how about some of those chocolate-covered fruitcake squares? And maybe a couple of those for me too? In fact, give me more than you give him. For Mrs. Swanson at school, the chocolate.
Check out Grandma's fruitcake and all the delicious desserts at Beatrice Bakery.
Welcome to our world of yum.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, I'm Charlie Stone, and I'm back with Andy Goodyear, General Manager of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, you said to me earlier you have a lot going on at the dealership. Can you tell our listeners about it?
Sure can, Charlie. As I've said before, if you don't see a vehicle on our lot that you're looking for, it's probably on its way soon.
So, how many new Hondas do you have in stock or on the way?
We have a total of over 325, Charlie, with a great selection of Pilots and Ridgelines in stock right now.
Well, we have been talking about the Honda of Lincoln way of buying cars for several months. How is that going?
People love it. We're buying all makes and models, whether they purchase the car from us or not. I mean, really, it's a no hassle, and we will pay them cash on the same day.
Come experience the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business. 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What? Man, look at him. I've been over here trying to dance, y'all. No, I ain't got no skill. It's your boy, Ricky C. Simmons. I'm a motivational speaker, but I'm also the host of this show here called the Get Your Happy On Hour. And I just want to thank you guys again, man, for listening in. We try to bring subjects and topics, just try to give it a different spin, you know, because our society is focused on so much of the negative things that are going on. And that's their choice. That's fine. But, you know, this is the holiday season, like I said, and I just want everybody to know something. I want y'all to be safe, man. I mean, there's a lot of adversity going on. I get it, you know, and there's a lot of stress out there. Stress is nobody's friend. I just want you guys to think about safety. Enjoy yourself, but think about safety. I think that's very important. And we don't have a lot of time left, but I want to give my guest, the businessman, I'd like to give Cordero Thompson some time just to tell you how you can reach him if you need his services, man, because this guy is working miracles currently for me. So I am forever thankful. So, Cordero, how do people reach you if they need your services?
Yeah, man, the website, www.tbclnk.com, Facebook, Instagram, TBCLNK. Right now is the time to start preparing for tax season. Get you a plan together and figure out how you're going to get your taxes prepared. Make sure you find somebody that you trust. Make sure you get all your documents in order. You don't want to be caught with an audit, and especially going through that alone. So make sure you get a professional to assist you.
Well, I'll tell you what, everybody that's listening, if you have those type of needs, trust me. I trust this man. And I didn't just give him my trust; he earned it. And
thank you.
Yeah, I mean I'm gonna keep saying that to you till you really hear what I'm saying, because
I hear you.
I'm not a very trusting person.
Neither am I.
Yeah, I've been through a lot, dude. I've been through so much in life. So, man, when you did what you did for me again, I just want to publicly say thank you, man, and just keep doing what you're doing. Just know, man, that Ricky's proud of you, because I understand how tough it is out here in this business world.
Yep.
And when you're self-employed, you know, it's not like you show up somewhere every day for 2 weeks and somebody hands you a check.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see, we don't have that luxury. If I don't do nothing in 2 weeks, I don't get nothing in 2 weeks. So I understand that better than most. I got to give a couple of quick shout outs too, man. I want to give a shout out to Randy J. Goodwin, man, up at 88 Tactical, him and Shay DeGan, man. Those guys showed a lot of love to me. I'm honored to be a member up there now, and man, I'm looking forward to the future up there. So that means a lot to me. Brad Taylor, man, I heard you was listening in tonight. Happy holidays, little bro, man. Keep doing the next right thing. And if you don't, you know, we're going to get with you. You know who I'm talking about, so I ain't going to even put you on blast like that. But no, man, I just really want everybody to understand that this is the holiday season. I'm not so much worried about everybody, but you don't never know what the next person's doing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, they could be drinking and driving. They could be whatever. And so it's really cool to be safe. And just remember, every day that you blessed to see, it truly is another day in paradise. So we're going to wrap this up tonight. Again, remember, I'll see you guys again on January 8th, right here at 8 o'clock on 93.7 The Ticket to Get Your Happy On Hour. And every day you blessed to see, you need to get your happy on.